Alright, what's going on, guys? Today we're back on Clash Royale after about a week of no uploading. I actually got really sick the past week, and then I kind of got lazy after that. But we're back with the kind of long-awaited deck tutorial. My goal here is just to get into some kind of advanced tips from the normal deck building tutorials, which mostly just say oh, check the boxes. You got a win condition, you got supporting units and spells, and maybe a building. Well, then you're good. Well, today we're going to try to go a bit more advanced into synergies and stuff, and try to help you guys get actually working off-meta decks and stuff. So yeah, if you like this video, make sure to hit the like button. That really actually helps videos get recommended and stuff, as well as commenting. So make sure to drop in the comments what you think of this video, or if you want to see another video like this in the future, or anything like that. And yeah, without any further ado, so we're actually going to be just making some random decks here that are flawed and stuff, and correcting them and making them viable decks. So I just picked Mega Knight and Hog Rider for today's videos because those are the most common win condition. Well, I guess Mega Knight's not technically a win condition, but those are the two most common types of decks you're going to be seeing around mid ladder, Mega Knight and Hog. Yeah, especially around this trophy range here, Challenger 1 through 3 and all that. So this deck right here, starting right off the bat, it's missing one important thing, the win condition. So a lot of people do think that Mega Knight is a win condition, because it's a big kind of giant tanking card. So people think it's the giant or something, or it's you can build a deck around it. Well, kind of, but not really, because the Mega Knight, it doesn't go straight for the towers. It targets other troops and stuff first. So that does not make it a win condition. That can make it possibly a secondary win condition. But you need at least one card in your deck that only goes for towers in every single deck in order for it to work. So we got to get one of those in here. Since I am a bait player, we're just going to go with the Goblin Barrel in here. And so we got to replace the card here. So a lot of people get always stuck up trying to find a card to replace. So in this deck right here, I know it's another problem a lot of people have around mid-ladder, is having multiple cards to do the same thing. So in this case, we have Musketeer, Firecracker, and Magic Archer. They all are long distance supporting units. So we want to get rid of one of them. We see that we already have a fair amount of splash damage in here. We have Mega Knight, Magic Archer, Firecracker, and Baby Dragon. So we need to get rid of one of these supporting splash damage cards. So we're going to actually get rid of Magic Archer here and replace it with our win condition. So we got that down. So next up, we have actually the problem with the Tesla there. So the point of a building in the deck for the most part is it's mainly meant for cycle or lighter decks, because in those types of decks you're just kind of cycling your win condition by itself for the most part, Hog or Log Bait. You're just cycling barrels, cycling hogs, cycling miners or wall breakers, and those types of cycle decks. So you're not really counter pushing with making big pushes. You're just kind of cycling your win condition. So in defense, you'll need a building or something for when they respond with their own offense. You're gonna need something to actually defend, because with this type of deck right here, you actually don't really need a building, because your main defense is going to be with your Mega Knight and with your Musketeer and all that, and you're going to try to counter push off of that. So you don't need a building really in these types of decks. However, Tesla, it's not terrible to have a Tesla in this type of deck here, but it's just not really ideal either. Golem, absolutely never have any buildings in there. You really don't see any P.E.K.K.A decks with buildings in them, and pretty much never with Mega Knight, but or probably one or two exceptions, but just not really. All right, so what do we want to replace there? Let's see. Got to see what we're missing here. I think maybe Goblin Gang or something in here to synergize well with that barrel there. Since we don't really have any swarm, we have the minions, we don't really have any ground swarm. So let's just put in the Goblin Gang for right now. It seems like a pretty good thing to put in there. Good for cycling, obviously really good defense. Maybe have a good starting play there of just playing the gang at the bridge or something. So yeah, it seems like it's going to fit in nicely there. But then also we have the issue with the spell here. For a big deck like this, heavy in elixir, you're not going to want to have like just a big spell, or if you do have a big spell, it should be like lightning or something to like reset Inferno Towers or take down Teslas or bomb towers or something, or like maybe earthquake or something like that. But in this type of deck too, since we're already getting lots of damage with like the Goblin Barrel and stuff, like, we don't really need a big spell to take out like buildings or something, since we are getting our damage from Goblin Barrel, and Goblin Barrel isn't really affected by buildings or anything that's going to be like needed to take out with a big spell. So we can just pretty much just put in Zap here. We're definitely going to want to put in Zap over Snowball, because we are running the Mega Knight there, which is going to have a lot of problems with Inferno Tower, since we don't have E-Wiz or anything. Or anything really to reset Inferno Towers or Inferno Dragons. So yeah, we definitely do need the Zap in here if we're only going to be running one spell. So then what else do we have? We have Firecracker, which is a bit out of place. Like, whenever you start to notice that you have like 3 or more like just supporting cards like this, I mean, that's typically an issue, and you gotta like look and see like what's the issue here. So we're definitely getting splash damage. We got 3 splash cards here. We're good on like Swarm. We're good on our win condition. We got a spell and a reset here. So what are we missing? We are missing a tank killer. We don't have anything that's going to take out a golem or a giant that well. Like, you can play Goblin Gang or minions on it. Those can just get arrowed out. So you're going to need some tank killer here. Like, we're actually like really bad in that regard, with there's not really any troop that's like high damage per second. So we're going to go with one of the best tank killers, the Mega, or not the Mega, I was looking at the Mega Minion there, the Mini P.E.K.K.A. So, yeah, you could also use like Mega Minion or Lumberjack, or there's a few others in there for tank killers. A Goblin Cage could actually be decent in here if you're looking for that building. I completely forgot about that. Goblin Cage actually would fit in lots of heavier decks and stuff pretty well. But because that's like more of like a troop than an actual building, asking like a defensive like building does not typically go in more expensive decks like that. But yeah, Goblin Cage definitely could go in here as well. But we were just going to go with the Mini P.E.K.K.A.s right here. I mean, just trying to look for any issues here. I don't really see any. Looks like we have a really balanced deck. We have Ground Swarm, Air Swarm here. Fairly good air and ground counters everywhere. 3.8 average elixir there, so nice average elixir there, nothing crazy over 4 or anything. So yeah, looking like we have a really good deck here we just created out of a average, very bad mid-ladder Mega Knight deck. So that's just the stuff you gotta look for if you're making like a Mega Knight deck or something, getting all the right types of cards in there. And there's like lots of substitutes you can make. Like, you definitely don't need Goblin Gang in here. It just kind of like the 7th and 8th card, like you can just pretty much put like anything, as long as it's not a repeat of a card you already have. Like, you don't want to put in Magic Archer instead of Goblin Gang, because you already have Musketeer doing basically the same job. So you just want to make a good balance like that. Like, if you're looking for a 7th and 8th card there, like, you could possibly put another spell in over Goblin Gang or minions or something here. But yeah, it's looking pretty good to me. Let me know what you guys think about this deck here. I mean, I would play on ladder, but I'd get destroyed since most of these cards are like level 10 and stuff. But yeah, I would say this one would work fairly well here. So moving on to the next one, you're just going to have this extremely bad Hog Cycle deck. So right away, you're going to notice that since this is a cycle deck, the average elixir cost is pretty high. So we're going to need to achieve this one down a good bit. So I often see this type of like mistake happening on ladder, where players are like running a cycle deck, but yet they have like lots of super expensive like supporting units, like usually like Valk, Witch, and Wizard in there, or something of that like, or Minion Horde in there. In this case, we're just putting all of them. I'm sure there's some people running decks like this with all those cards in there. So, I mean, definitely the Witch or the Wizard is going to need to go, just for the extra off-meta factor. We're going to, I don't know, we're probably going to keep the Wizard. So, they're both extremely off-meta, so. and just bad cards in general. So the which is going to be replaced with the Tesla here. Because remember, this is a cycle deck, so as I said earlier, you're not really counter pushing, you're just kind of like sending in your own win condition and cycling it. So for defense, you're going to definitely be more heavily in need of a defensive building to be stopping the opponent's counter push and or their own like opposite lane aggression. So the Tesla definitely going to be fitting in here well, since of course it's the strongest building in the meta right now. And I always used to like use Tesla even before it was super strong. It was always been one of my favorite buildings in the game. So we're going to put Tesla in here today. So next up is the Rage. That needs to go. I see so many people in mid ladder using like Hog Rage. It's like, just why? There's not really any reason to it. Like it kind of like speeds it up, I guess, and it makes it hit faster. But like there's so many better like cards to use Rage on, like the Goblin Giant Sparky deck with it, with like how it synergizes with the Mini P.E.K.K.A. and stuff. Elite Barb's Rage, Elixir Golem Rage. Like you can definitely use Rage in a lot of stuff. It's not just like a terrible card in general. But it's like, say with the Elite Barbs, like it's actually like raging them up so that they can attack other units. Like if you drop Elite Barb's Rage at the bridge and the opponent like drops something like a Prince that would normally counter the E-Barbs fairly well, the Rage is going to make it like speed up and like shred it faster, and then they run to the tower and do more damage that way. But like with the Hog, I mean the Hog is already super fast, so it just, the added Rage just doesn't really do anything. It'll like maybe take out a defensive building quicker, but typically it's not going to have that much of a different like outcome. So you're pretty much just creating like a 6 elixir Hog Rider with only maybe 1 elixir benefit out of it. So it's just not really worth it in my opinion. Let's be running Rage with that. So what are we going to be replacing that with? Well, we're definitely going to need another spell here. And we're going to go with a Log for a cheap spell here. Because, I mean, Hog and Log, I mean, they just, like, really go well together. Always Skarmies and stuff, especially this ladder range. So, yeah, Log just really good synergy with Hog Rider. Obviously, the 2.6 Hog Rider cycle deck is always running Log in it. So, it's proven over time that, yeah, Hog Rider and the Log are a pretty good pair to be running. So Log's always been one of my favorite spells too, so we're just going to be putting that in here. So what else now? We have arrows in here. I mean, the main issue right now is we need a big spell in here, because we need to be, when the Hog Rider is getting hit by like defensive buildings or like a fireball bait type troop, like you're going to need a like bigger spell to get tower damage. Like if the Hog is like not able to get to the tower, say they're running a cycle deck with Inferno Tower, your Hog's never able to make it to the tower. You got to be having something hitting the tower to get some damage in. So you got to pretty much always have a big spell in Hog Rider decks, especially Hog Cycle. Typically always going to be either Fireball or Earthquake. Rocket will work in an extremely like cheap Cycle Hog deck. So we could be running a Rocket, but like since it is going to be a quick cycle deck, but since we have cards that are already like 5 elixir, like the Wizard right here that we're keeping in, and the 4 elixir Tesla, we're not going to be running a Rocket. Just going to be a bit too expensive then for my taste. So we're going to be running Earthquake, actually. There's like a lot of Tesla going around, lots of, I guess, Goblin Cage and stuff. And people are always running Building, it seems like, if you're going to be running Hog Riders, so defensive mortars and stuff too. So yeah, Earthquake, and always really good for cycling on the tower for quick damage. Yeah, Earthquake, Hog EQ, one of the best Hog decks right now for sure. So yeah, we're gonna put Earthquake in there. Next up, Bomber. I'm pretty sure that one can actually stay in here. I mean, that's 2 elixir now. It gets a good bit of ground splash damage. It's not really the same, like, it's not really doing the same job as the Wizard, because the Wizard's obviously giving a lot more splash damage and a lot stronger of damage and can target air as well, and the Bomber just kind of like a cheaper cycle card. So yeah, we can definitely keep the Bomber in there. Really good in the meta as well. skeletons. That is going to be replacing the entirety of the minion horde right there. Yes, minion horde, just... We already have a 5 elixir card, and this is a hog cycle deck. Gotta get that cost down. Skeletons are always great in Hog Rider decks to like block charges onto the building, so you can like block a Prince charge into the Tesla, or a Mini P.E.K.K.A. or Bandit or Big P.E.K.K.A. hit or something. Yeah, it's great distracting, helping out on defense, and helping the cycle become a lot quicker. So now we're looking around. We got the good air defense here with these 2 cards. We have splash damage with these 2. We have the big spell, the small spell for the cycle deck. I got our win condition, cycle card here. And now we're seeing, we don't really have, like last time, we pretty much only have the Tesla for actually, like, tank killing. So we need another tank killer. We went Mini P.E.K.K.A. last time. We can go Hunter, but we don't really need the Hunter exactly, since we already have, like, Wizard for all the kind of, like, air splash damage. Be kind of doing like a similar job to the Wizard. So we're going to go with a Lumberjack right here. Similar to the Valkyrie, except like way higher damage per second. Really fast as well. It's going to be synergizing with the Hog Rider pretty well. As far as like speed-wise and stuff, making the opponent having to stay on their toes. With those Lumberjacks and Hog Riders always coming down the lane. So yeah, I think that's actually going to work out really well there. So yeah, we got our tank killer now in here for all the giant and golem and elixir golem and all that to really help out with a Tesla and yeah, killing all those big cards like that. So yeah, I'm pretty sure we got a pretty solid off-meta deck here. I've never seen anything quite like this, but it's a pretty good deck. Kind of meta with the Hog EQ and the Bomber in there, and really off meta with yeah, like the Wizard and the Lumberjack in there. So yeah, I said it's actually a pretty good deck. I'd be willing to run that in a classic challenge or something and see how that goes. But yeah, that's all I have for today. So if you guys like this video, once again, make sure to hit that like button there. Subscribe if you'd like to see any more videos like that, and let me know in the comments what you thought of the video and any recommendations for future videos. So I'll be doing some ladder pushing here very soon, but I mean, till then, we'll be seeing ya.